as Chris Barr is all set to start the ball game. Paul Scansey and Randall Morris, the deep backs on the return for the Seattle Seahawks. And it will be down in the end zone. And Seattle will go to work at their own 20-yard line. Randall Morris downing the ball, and here comes the quarterback, Dave Craig, and he has been riding a two-game roller coaster. Let's look at that offensive line. Kreider, Pratt, Bush, Bailey, and Millard, the front five. The receivers, Largent, Ross the tight end, and Turner on the other side. Craig the quarterback with Hughes and Warner behind him. So Seattle first down at their own 20-yard line. Kurt Warner, and he stumbles on the grass. Falls forward to the line of scrimmage. We'll give him a yard to the 21. It'll be second down and 9. Rod Martin was there to cover him. Let's look at the defense of the Raiders. The front three with Long, Piquel, and Sean Jones replacing Lyle Alzado. Van Pelt, Matt Millen, McKenzie, and Martin, the four linebackers. And in the secondary, it is Hayes, Turan, McElroy, and Haynes. Second down and 9. Taking all the time in the world. Warner hit at the line of scrimmage, but still will pick up a couple of yards to the 23, so it's third down and 7. And the grass turf will slow down the offense.
It will slow them down, Charlie, and also this turf at this time of the year, they plant a ryegrass in there. Looks nice, doesn't have much of a footing to it. There's not much of a root system. So you saw Kurt Warner a little earlier slip out. I expect to see some of that slipping and sliding during the day.
Paul Scansey comes in, 3 wide receivers. They'll go to the shotgun. Pressure, and he is sacked, and it is Bill Piquel who gets to it.
Give some credit on that sack to Howie Long coming from the right-hand side. He forced the quarterback, Dave Craig, to step up, and he had to step right up into the rush of Bill Piquel.
Take it back to the 15. It's a loss of 8. Fourth down and 15.
Quick look at it. There you'll see Long right there. You see him getting a hand on the back.
So Dave Fincher punting to Fulton Walker. The Raiders will come up with great field position. Good kick. Taken at the 40-yard line. Has about 8 yards on the return to the 48-yard line. 45 yards on the kick. Sheldon Robinson was there for the Seattle Seahawks. Let's go to the offense of the Raiders with Mark Wilson, the quarterback. You'll have Davis, Hannah, Mosbar, Marvin, and Lawrence at the front five. Esther, the great tight end, Todd Christensen, and Dokie Williams. Wilson and Allens and Hawkins behind him. We're to mark it at the 47-yard line. First down for Los Angeles. Marcus Allen. And Marcus opens up, picking up 4 yards to the Seattle 49, second down and 6. Bruce Schultz stops him. Let's look at the defense of the Seahawks with Bryant, Nash, and Green, the front three. That's the standard set. And Schultz, Butler, Young, and Schultz again. That should be Jackson on that side. Brown, Harris, Moyer, and Taylor. The change is Paul Moyer for Kenny Easley, the strong safety. Has an ankle problem. They thought and hoped that he would be able to start, but he cannot. And here's Marcus to the left side. And stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. His momentum will carry him to the 48-yard line, so it'll be third down and 5.
Bruce Schultz knows we're expecting a great deal out of him today. He's got to play both outside linebacker positions.
At the same time.
At the same time. We had to make some changes in that lineup because of the absence of Kenny Easley, and that is a real disappointment, I'm sure, to this defensive team. He is their most physical player, their most dominant player, Charlie. When he comes out of that lineup, they do the same things, but they don't do them quite as well.
Wilson to throw. Has pressure, the ball knocked away, and it is recovered by the Seahawks. Seattle with the first turnover of the ball game.
It looked like Jacob Green coming from the left-hand side, who reached back in with a long arm and knocked that ball loose.
Penalty refused. First down.
Tremendous pressure. Looking from the end zone, watch the right-hand side of your screen. I think it's number 79, Green. Look at him. Just reach back in there and knock that ball out of the hands of Mark Wilson. We've seen 2 rushes from defensive ends that have caused havoc, wreaked havoc. Again, the inside man getting the benefit of the outside pressure. The leading sacker, Edwards.
And in addition, the Seahawks get credit for a sack as David Hughes gets the call. Gilbert has been the holder for the last 5 ball games for Johnson, and Johnson has hit 6 of 9. This one from 37 yards away. And it is good from 37 yards out. And so the Seahawks open the scoring at the 6:24 mark, time remaining in the first quarter.
I think today he'll have a chance of taking back his lead as a rusher in the NFL because of an injury to Riggs earlier in the day. But Marcus is just storming over the top of people, and he's running with such confidence.
4 wide receivers. Scansey in motion. Raiders rushing 4. There's pressure from behind. There's a fumble. And the Raiders say they have it. And they do. Townsend caused it.
It was Greg Townsend, you might remember, that was able to jump on that fumble last week that set up that winning field goal in overtime against the Denver Broncos. Let's see if we can see what happens here. Craig had already been forced up into the sack earlier. There he is from the outside, 93. Well, we don't get a chance to see what he did, but you saw him coming from behind and just stripping the ball out of the hands of Dave Craig. That's exactly what happened to Mark Wilson a few moments ago.
And Sean Jones recovered it. The turnover to the Raiders with great field position. And here comes Marcus Allen. He fumbles the ball. Pop loose, and the Seattle Seahawks say that they have it right back.
What a wonderful opportunity for the Raiders. They had good field position, and they turned the ball right back.
Very fast-moving first quarter. Do you get any kind of a feel on the ball game?
I don't think that either team has really established a feel yet. And one thing we have seen is that Mark Wilson, you saw him there on the sideline, has been given quite a bit of time to throw the football, although he was sacked once earlier in the ball game. Now, that may not bode well for the Seahawks defense later in the day.
23-yard attempt. And we've got a tie ball game as Chris Barr puts it up. And we'll take a timeout. It's all tied at 3-3. 15-yard line and a first down for Seattle. But this time, the Raiders were the intimidators. Howie Long decking Randall Morris. Woo!
You could hear that shot all the way up here in the booth, and we are a long ways from the field. Watch it for yourselves. Long driving in. Boom! Just an explosion. Amazing that Morris didn't go right to the ground. Howie's wife on the sideline is Diane Long, and
Carol Pickell.
Yeah, Carol Pickell right next to her.
Loss of 3, second and 13. Randall Morris and David Hughes are the running backs. Hughes just barely back to the line of scrimmage. Greg Townsend making the tackle. Will be third down and 13. Each one counted 1 point.
Well, if he had missed that, and I were in a striped uniform, I don't think I would have gone very close to that Raider bench.
It has to be relief.
Tremendous relief. Good hold. And look how Mark Wilson has those strings perfectly aligned with the goalpost. Beautifully done. And Chris says, okay, we're going to count this one, guys?
You win today. If you're a Raider, you're in the playoffs. If you're a Seahawk, if you win and you win next week, you still got a chance. You don't have time for that. What a squib-type kick taken at the 10-yard line on the return by the Seahawks. And this is Paul Scansey as he returns it near the 45-yard line. And with that play, time runs out in the first half. Very close first half and an interesting first half. Seattle with a 37-yard field goal by Norm Johnson. For the Raiders, Chris Barr from 22 and 27 yards. Back at these messages from your local station.
Stats, as you see, time of possession in favor of the Seahawks. And, of course, much of that an early first drive that was well over 5 minutes. Yardage favoring very strongly the Raiders side of the ledger. And the turnovers, all fumbles, you might remember.
Yes.
1 by Seattle and 2 by the Raiders.
First downs today. The Seahawks averaging 1.6 on 9 plays. And here's Marcus Allen. And he'll open up with 3 yards in the second half from the 28 to the 31-yard line. 2nd and 7 as Fred Young makes the tackle. They're the leading sackers for the Raiders. Bill Pickel with 10.5. And he's a nose tackle. And Joe Nash for the Seahawks, their nose tackle has 9 sacks. Nose tackles normally don't get that many. And here's another one, and it's Pickel that gets it. That is his 2nd of the ball game. A loss of 8.
Well, we'll add 1 more to Pickel's. Bill Pickel's wife on the sideline. She's the one with the dark hair, obviously very happy.
And it's 2nd down and 8. Again, the Raiders lead at 6-3. The pass is low but caught.
Got to touch him.
Whoa! And the ball is kicked loose and then recovered by Jeff Barnes.
A mistake. And then a great play by the defense of the Los Angeles Raiders. I think the defensive back on top of the first play did not believe that that was a catch, but it was. But look at Stacy Turan now go in underneath and punch that football loose. And then Jeff Barnes, number 56, right on top of it to put his hands on it. McKenzie, I think, going back to his college training, thinks he's down, didn't tag him. He's got to tag him. Harris went on down the field, ended up fumbling the football with a little help from Turan.
And Jeff Barnes recovered it. The Raiders have a first down at their 13. And Marcus Allen picks up 3 to the 16 at 2nd and 7 as Fred Young makes it. And let's go back and let's just I'm sorry that I miscalled, but it is Walter Payton. He had 9 straight 100-yard games. Stopped yesterday when he was held at 53 yards in that game in the red against the Jets. And here's Marcus running free and out of bounds in Seahawk territory. First down.
That should put him over the 100-yard mark for today. No, not quite. Well, we'll keep an eye on it for you.
77 yards, 20 carries,
right.
77.
Well, there's some time left in this ball game, and I think we're going to see some more of Marcus Allen.
And he picks up 14 here. And he does. He gets. You alluded to this earlier. As the day goes on, and the more carries that he has, he gets stronger.
Well, he wants to carry the football. He wants to be in the ball game. I guess every great back wants to have that football, wants to make things happen.
First down at the Seahawks 46-yard line. Play action fake.
Cookie!
Pass is complete at the 33-yard line to Jokey Williams.
Not a great deal there to get excited about if you're a Seahawk fan. The Raiders more yardage by far, but not a lot of points to show for it. We get word from the sideline that Sean Jones is banged up a bit. Greg Townsend, number 93, goes onto the field.
2nd down and 6. And here's Kurt Warner. James Davis leading the charge. Stacy Turan is there. There's pressure. He rolls. He throws. The pass is complete, but it'll end up short yardage. Going to Dan Ross, the tight end. And Stacy Turan is there.
Ross is hurt. Stacy Turan, a very physical tackle, drove Ross to the ground. Charlie.
Pressure. Craig pulled down.
Misses Howie long, and Howie, as you might remember, made that big sack that helped to force the fumble on Elway that turned that game around, gave them that big win in Denver. Sean Jones leaves the ball game, goes in for x-rays. Howie moves to his position and already has come up with a big play. Watch him driving inside of Millard. Over the top of Blair Bush. Jerked the jersey down, and they sacked him to the ground with the help of Piquel.
And Dave Fincher is kicking. It's 4th down and 19.
Line drive, Charlie.
Fulton Walker gives ground at the 34-yard line. Back to the 40. Looks for a block. To the 50, and is bumped out of bounds at the 50-yard line by Keith Butler. 50 yards of the punt, a 16-yard return.
Randy Edwards in at that right end position of Jeff Bryant.
One more yard would make it 8 in a row, and one behind Walter Payton. But you look for the pass here. 3rd down and 18.
Great catch.
Unbelievable.
And a tremendous throw by Mark Wilson.
48 yards. And you almost want to applaud the defense also on the play.
He hangs that football so high, and Terry Taylor just misjudged that football. But the thing that's amazing about the catch, as you watch Mark Wilson throw that rainbow, is that when it comes through the hands of a defensive back, it is so hard to keep your concentration. Dokey Williams, that catch over the top, over his head, I don't think there's a tougher catch to make in football.
The big play that we've been looking for, the big play of the ball game offensively.
They've got to convert, though. They've got to get the points. They've been here before and haven't.
First down, goal to goal. Is it there? Yes. Marcus Allen, touchdown.
On 2 other occasions, the Raider offense had been in that same area of the field, looking for the touchdown. Marcus picked a good time to leap over the top of that and go past O.J. Simpson and Earl Campbell with his 8th consecutive 100-yard game.
Chris Barr with the extra point. And it's the Los Angeles Raiders 13, the Seattle Seahawks 3.
Little billiard shot there. Let's go back to that big play by Marcus Allen. Good vision. You talked about the eyes earlier, Charlie. He makes you miss, and then he knows where that goal line is.
And for Marcus Allen, his 14th touchdown of the year. Second down and 4. Largent goes in motion. Turner working against Lester Hayes. Largent has his man beat. The pass is underthrown. They'll say no, that Hayes did not have the interception. And there's a fight at the 50-yard line. Fight at the 50-yard line where a flag went down and pushing and shoving. And it's broken loose. Howie long in a wrestling match.
There goes another flag. It's not one fight. I think it's about 3 going on, Charlie. Another one.
They're going to run out of flags.
Well, the concern here is not letting this game get out of hand.
And if Jeff Barnes may have been ejected, the officials will tell us, but that was the move that the official is giving us.
We have 3 disqualification fouls.
Wow.
53, 56 for the Raiders, 71 for the Seahawks. The fouls occurred during continuous action. They offset, and it's 3rd down. The down counts. It's 3rd down.
They're saying that the fouls took place after the end of the play. They're going to negate each other, but the Raiders have lost 2 players, Rod Martin and Jeff Barnes, 2 linebackers. You're looking at the play that kind of set it all off. Let's see where Mike comes down. I think he's in bounds. I think his hips hit in bounds. And I think that was a good, I think he should have had the football there.
You're right. Raiders lead by 10, 13-3. The Raiders win. They're the champs of the West. Flag is down. It's probably holding again. The pass is intercepted at the 31-yard line.
They haven't tagged him yet.
Mike Haynes returns it for about 15, 18 yards.
Holding left tackle, penalty refused.
4 yards.
Raiders ball.
But they may rule the play dead back at the 31, which was the point of the interception.
Well, Mike Haynes, a moment ago, deprived of what we felt was an interception, waits it out this time. Watch him cut right in at the last second. Beautiful timing as he strips that football away from Byron Walker. And look at that. 4 of the top 5 active interceptors in the game of football on this field today. And of course, Mike Haynes just moved up on that list with that particular interception.
That makes number 39 in his career. And Marcus Allen adding to his total. That's his 27th carry. He had 106 yards just before that Dave Brown.
Maybe that he's just got a stinger. Looks like they're kind of pulling that arm away. Let's see what happened on that last play. Gets away from Randy Edwards there. It's a shot right there by Dave Brown. Gets popped. Kind of hard to see what happened. Hell, he's up. I think what happened is on that first pop on the head. Yeah, you see him grabbing his hand? I think what he's got is what we call a stinger. Just pinch that nerve in his neck a little bit, and it frightens you more than anything else.
Does it feel like when you hit your crazy bone?
It does. The hands, fingers go numb, and what scares you is if you do it often enough, that numbness may stay for several days. That's what David Hughes had for the Seattle Seahawks, and it kept him out for a number of weeks. He's just now back into the roster the last 2 weeks.
Mark the ball at the 34-yard line, 2nd down and 7. 2 minutes and 25 seconds, that is the time remaining. Kenny King replacing Marcus Allen. One second left between the Raiders and the championship of the West.
He's run out the clock.
And runs out of bounds. And the crowd of 80,000 here in the Coliseum joining the celebration, led now by Lester Hayes. The final, the Los Angeles Raiders 13, the Seattle Seahawks 3. And stay tuned to NFL 85 right after these messages.